Welcome to your midweek motivation. Well, it's hard to believe, but the moment has come. It is finally here. And what moment is that? Drum roll. It's time for New Year's resolutions. Woo! You were probably thinking I was going to say it's time for 2020 to end. Well, nope. It's time again, that time of year, for New Year's resolutions. It's one of my favorite times of year because you kind of hit the restart button, right? It's figuratively a time to start all over again, to wipe the slate clean. And so we can sing my favorite song, or one of my favorite songs from one of my favorite movies, The Greatest Showman, that begins with this line: "Ladies and gents, this is the moment you've waited for." Well, in many ways, it is the moment that we've waited for. 2020 has been one of those years where it's dragged on for a really long time. But at the same time, as we look back, it seems like it's flown by. And yet now that it's over, we're like, this is the moment we've waited for. It's leaving. And yet 2021 is coming. And what's 2021 going to look like? We have no idea, which is the beautiful thing of the future and the scary thing about the future. We don't know what it brings. We don't know what's on the way. And so the best thing that we can do is prepare and try to be ready for it. We weren't ready for 2020, and yet it's made us better. It's made us who we are today. And if we were to look back at this past year, I think we could argue that we're better today than we were then. So what's 2021 gonna bring? Well, as we sit here talking about New Year's resolutions, we can talk about the fact that we're going to go into 2021 prepared, hitting the restart button, going, you know what, I'm going to do this year. So what's your New Year's resolutions? What are you going to do? What does this upcoming year look like? Well, it's kind of like rolling the dice. It's kind of gambling when we build a New Year's resolution because we don't know what this upcoming year is going to hold. But you know what? That's kind of one of the exciting things for me. If I wasn't who I am today, gambling would probably be something that would be extremely interesting. Taking and betting on things, hoping that they come true. Now, I don't like the ones where you just put the money in the machine and you pull down the lever and it's just kind of completely random and you have no idea. But games like cards, hold'em, blackjack, where there's some sort of skill, or at least in your mind you think there's some skill. Or sporting events where you can look at the teams and the rosters and you can put down the numbers and you can make an educated guess as to what the outcome is going to be. And yet inherent in that is risk. And that's one of the things that drives me. I like risk. I like doing risky things. I like not knowing what the outcome is going to be and having to put yourself out there. Playing cards, pushing all your chips in, going all in on the hand that you think is going to be the very best. It's kind of like a New Year's resolution. We're going all in on the fact that we think this is what's going to be best for us this year. So maybe you've never viewed New Year's resolutions that way, or thought about the fact that you're kind of asking the question, what is in my best interest for this upcoming year, and how do I hit the restart button to make sure that I can effectively do that this year? Well, in order to do that well, you got to look back. You got to play the statistics. You got to know what's happened to know what's coming forward. And so as we look back at 2020, sitting here going, what has been, we can make a better educated decision around what our New Year's resolutions are going into 2021 because of what we just came out of. So I would really challenge you this year, be intentional with what it is that you're going to do this year. But here, do something for me. Make it simple. Keep it really simple. Don't go all out and say you're going to do something huge and big. Rather, do something that's actually tangible, that you can accomplish to see yourself continue to grow. So at the end of 2021, we're better than we were right now as we go into this new year. So here's something simple that I'd throw at you. Years ago, I had a youth pastor challenge me in the activities of my life, and he said, use this verse as a lens. You know what verse that was? Philippians 4:8. And that would be the challenge I'd have for us this year as we go into this new year. That as we look at what we're going to become in 2021, that I would use Philippians 4:8 as the standard and the lens by which we view our activities. So what does that verse say? It says this: finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Coming out of 2020, I think this verse is so applicable for us. If we were to use this as our New Year's resolution and just focus on all of our activities through this lens, we would be better as a person and as a society than we are today. Let me read it again. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Make this verse your resolution for the new year. Because when we apply these things to our lives, it's not gambling. It's guaranteed. It's guaranteed that it will have a positive outcome and that we will see fruit when we do these things. And oh, by the way, our world needs it. It so desperately needs us to live this way. So make Philippians 4:8 your New Year's resolution, and then apply it to your lives and see what God does. And I guarantee you that He will do great things. Have a great New Year's week. See you next year.